What if I told you that the most successful leaders I've worked with all share one surprising trait? It's not their ability to close deals, their strategic thinking, or even their leadership skills. It's their willingness to elevate others. I'm David Trent, and this is the Trent Success Show. Welcome to the very first episode of the Trent Success Show. I'm David Trent, entrepreneur, coach, and author, and I help leaders like you build businesses with purpose, clarity, and long-term impact. The show is about real lessons in entrepreneurship and life. In each episode, we're going to explore strategies, stories, and principles that will help you grow not just as a business owner, but as a leader, a spouse, a parent, and friend. True success isn't just what you achieve, it's who you elevate along the way. Today, we're exploring three interconnected pillars: master teachings that guide decision-making, entrepreneurial inspiration that drives innovation, and family values that anchor everything we do. Let's start with master teachings. I want to share one of the most powerful master teachings that transformed how I think about limitations, and it came from Zig Ziglar talking about fleas. I was at a seminar feeling stuck in my career. Then Zig Ziglar took the stage and said, "Imagine putting fleas in a mason jar and sealing the lid shut. The fleas will start jumping, but they'll bump their heads on that lid." I could visualize those fleas, and honestly, I started thinking about my own career. How many times had I hit my own metaphorical lid? Zig continued, "At first, they'll keep trying to reach their full potential, but after a while, the fleas adjust their behavior. They no longer jump high enough to hit that lid. They condition themselves to jump just below the lid's height. Here's the kicker. Even when you remove the lid, the fleas remain confined within their limits. They've mentally restricted themselves, unable to explore the vast space beyond." Sitting there, I felt disappointment and hope. Disappointment because I realized I'd been conditioning myself to stay within safe boundaries. If I could recognize those self-imposed limitations, couldn't I break free from them? That night, I made two lists. First, all the lids I'd placed on myself, the self-doubt, the fear of failure, comfort of the familiar, then all the ways I could start breaking through those limitations. Here's what it teaches us. We all have invisible lids. Maybe it's believing you're not ready for that promotion. Maybe it's assuming your company isn't big enough to compete with the industry giants. Maybe it's fearing you don't have the right background for that innovative project. But most of these limitations exist only in our minds. The market isn't telling you no. You're telling yourself no. The team isn't saying you can't lead them to the next level. You're saying that you can't. From that day forward, whenever I felt myself hesitating, I remembered Zig's words. You've got to be willing to start. Refuse to settle for mediocrity. Embrace resilience, determination, and a growth mindset. That became my approach with every executive I coach. Before we talk strategy or tactics, we identify the lids, those self-imposed barriers that keeping them from jumping as high as they're capable. Your biggest competitor isn't the company across town. It's the voice in your head that says, you can't, you shouldn't, or you're not ready. Here's an action step. Identify your flea jar. What invisible lid are you bumping your head against? Write it down, name it, because you can't break through a barrier you haven't acknowledged. Let's move on to entrepreneurial inspiration. Let me take you back to 1986. I was a recent college graduate starting in a brutal job market. I remember sitting at my small desk in a cramped apartment wondering, is this all there is? When I landed a role as a management trainee at Twin City Bank, man, it felt like winning the lottery. Banking wasn't my passion, but it was the only option available. My mom, Donnie, was thrilled. "You did it, David. This is your foot in the door." The job provided valuable experience. The camaraderie was great. My colleague Tom would ask, "Hey, David, you want to grab lunch?" Those became impromptu mentoring sessions where I absorbed everything I could, but I couldn't ignore the reality. The salary was $15,000, and increasing that income seemed so distant. One night, going over my budget, trying to make ends meet, it hit me, man, there's got to be more than just scraping by. That led me to explore life insurance sales as a moonlighting opportunity. This is where the Zig Ziglar quote becomes relevant. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Let me repeat that. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. My decision to explore life insurance on the side perfectly embodied that quote. I yearned to boost my earnings and delve into entrepreneurship, so I took the leap. Fortunately, I had guidance from Bob Hamilton, a friend of my dad's and an experienced life insurance agent. We used my father's insurance files, and I took my first entrepreneurial leap. Bob and I would meet in the evenings at my father's office, make calls, and search for prospects. Bob would encourage me, remember, David, every no gets you closer to a yes. Don't let rejection discourage you. I'd take a deep breath and dial. Hello, Mrs. Johnson. This is David Trent. I'm calling to discuss how life insurance can protect your family's future. My initial venture didn't bring exceptional success, but it was invaluable. It ignited my passion for exploring new opportunities and paved the way for future endeavors. After over a year at Twin City Bank, I found myself at a crossroads. Security felt like a safety net. Entrepreneurship was calling. Standing in front of my mirror, I caught my gaze. Are you content playing it safe? Are you ready to take a risk for something greater? That self-reflection led me to transition into life insurance full-time. I joined New York Life in the fall of '87, embracing a commission-based role and laying my entrepreneurial foundation. Walking into New York Life on my first day, excitement and trepidation filled me. This is it. No more safety net. It's all on me now. The lesson isn't about insurance or banking. It's about recognizing when comfort becomes a cage and having courage to step into uncertainty for the possibility of something greater. Your action step. Man, find your Twin City Bank moment. Where are you playing it safe, and where should you take a calculated risk? Sometimes growth requires stepping away from guaranteed comfort. Let's move on to Section 3, Family Values. Let me tell you the story that shaped everything I believe about resilience and determination. The story of my parents. In 1954, fresh out of high school and newly married, Mom and Dad stepped into the workforce at the shoe factory. They were each earning 75 cents an hour. This began their shared path toward building a life together. Their journey took a significant turn on January 22nd, 1956. My sister Terry arrived. Mom chose to leave her job to prioritize raising their child. Suddenly, they were living on Dad's single income of $40 a week, yet their determination to provide remained steadfast. Dad's friend George Barnett shared insights about his successful life insurance career. Dad got so excited, he actually called in sick one day to travel to Little Rock for an interview. He was hired by Reliable Life. On his first Monday, his boss said, "You're taking the insurance exam Thursday." This worried Dad. He wasn't a great student, had no insurance knowledge, but his boss assured him, "Don't worry, you'll be fine." The exam had only 25 questions, and fortunately, someone from the insurance department helped with the answers. Dad told me with a chuckle, the insurance commissioner got a turkey from Reliable Life every Christmas. Dad passed the exam and started his career April 7th, 1958, earning $75 a week, nearly double his previous income. But my dad's journey had hurdles. He was assigned to impoverished communities, going door to door, collecting small sums, sometimes just 10 cents per week. Despite his initial nervousness and trembling hands, Dad's determination to provide for his family fueled his perseverance. Dad said, "I remember my manager telling me I probably wasn't cut out for this job because of my shyness." Dad recalled, "Man, that really angered me and made me more determined to prove him wrong." Dad continued, "My hands would tremble approaching each house. I'd never done anything like this. It was intimidating asking people for money, even just a few cents. But here's what kept him going." Dad says, "I knew this job was important for our future. I couldn't let fear of anyone's doubts hold me back. Every payment collected, no matter how small, was a step closer to my goals." As Dad gained experience, he developed relationships with his customers, and he learned to empathize with their struggles. He says, "Many people I visited were living in poverty, and they always found ways to pay their premiums," he said. "It was humbling to see their toughness and commitment to protecting their families." Dad's perseverance paid off as he climbed the insurance industry ranks. The story embodies Zig Ziglar's quote, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great." Your action step. Connect with your family story. What values did your parents or grandparents model that you may have forgotten? What life skills from your heritage could strengthen your leadership today. As always, in every episode, we'll close with 3 Trent takeaways. First, start. Greatness is a pursuit. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Whether breaking through limitations, taking calculated risks, or connecting with family values, begin now. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Number 2, grow into your goals. Like my parents growing from 75 cents an hour to insurance success, or my journey from that cramped apartment to coaching executives. Growth happens incrementally through consistent action and resilience. Number 3, what doors can you unlock? Every limitation you break, every risk you take, every family value you embrace unlocks doors to possibilities you can't see yet. Are you willing to turn the handle? If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to help you go further. You can dive deeper into these lessons in my book, Elevate Others. You can also join one of our CEO roundtables and work with me in one-on-one coaching. To connect, find me, David Trent, on LinkedIn or at trentsuccess.com. Man, thank you for joining me for the first episode of the Trent Success Show. Until next time, keep challenging those limits and elevating others.